Hello, hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Bright Life podcast. Today, I want to speak to any of you who are feeling stuck and you're just like, I don't know, I've lost my inspiration, my mojo, I don't know how to get it back, I'm not sure what my passion is. Any of those feelings I have felt. That's why I have learned the lessons that I am happy to share now to get to the other side, because the other side, it's so much better to work and operate from a place of feeling inspired and uplifted and like creative. I think even physically, it's so good for your body to just feel like things are flowing energetically, right? Like you're not stuck, you're not blocked, you don't have that like constricted energy in your life. So I want to share with you, if that's you, if that resonates, or it ever sounds like you're just in that season or want this in your back pocket for what to do. This is my trick. This is what I do. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a list of anything super random that you've wanted to try. This could be as small as going to a new coffee shop around town, maybe visiting the tourist sites. So if you live in Seattle, like going to the Space Needle or Pike Place Market. It could be taking a cooking class. Maybe you want to learn how to cook Italian or French. It could be going to a new yoga or fitness studio near you. It could be as big as learning a new language or going to Bali or like a week-long meditation retreat, having your own like eat, pray, love experience. It could be like putting yourself out there and starting the business and announcing it on social media and deciding that you're done with whatever fear has been holding you back. Okay, it can be just as random as that, truly. Like anything that you've wanted to do or try or experience that just sounds fun, go for it. Then what you're going to do is you're going to schedule out time, maybe once a month, once every 2 weeks, to try that one new thing, and you're going to pull from your list. So I write about this in my book, Your Bright Life, but this was a practice that I started in my 20s that was one of the most transformational things I ever did. I kind of just stumbled into it wanting to try new fun things around town, but it ended up becoming something that I looked forward to every single month, that I credit to helping me get over a lot of my fears, to always getting like a new idea, to finding my way to what my first business would be and eventually what my book message and podcast would be. So I really encourage you to test it out. Now, here are some of the things that I tried, and here's some of the things that I learned that I really believe you'll experience in your own way. So I tried everything from kayaking in the Puget Sound to going to a Bikram yoga class. I bungee jumped. I sat at a bar alone. I wanted to feel like if I could be confident just sitting on my own. I did rock climbing. I did a sprint triathlon. So a lot of these were like athletic things that I was scared to try, but some were as simple as like, writing a letter to someone, or like sitting at the bar alone, or like learning how to make a meal that I'd wanted to make. So they were the only requirement that I had was it was something that felt like a little outside my comfort zone. And that was like the threshold where I knew this might be something fun for me to try. So once I did these things, here are the common things that always came out that I believe you will find from this practice as well. Number one, I started to learn my own patterns around fear. I started to realize when my fear would kick up and start talking and when it would subside. So I started to see that like the morning of, I'd usually wake up a little agitated and nervous, and it would build until like the thing started. And then like 10 seconds in, the fear would kind of have like reached its peak and go down, and I would be so exhilarated and so proud of myself trying this new thing. And then I would get into the flow of the experience, and I would come away being like, I have to do that again. It was great. So what I learned from realizing my own patterns around fear is that it comes and goes. This is something that is consistent. There's this saying that how we do one thing's how we do everything. So I started to notice those same patterns later on when I started a business, when I began to travel, things like that. But because I'd gone through this practice, I felt very comfortable just knowing it was something that would come and go like a wave, and I could survive and get to the other side. I also started to fear things less, way less. I started to just have this compassion for myself that it was like, of course I feel nervous today. Like this is normal. This is a new thing for me. I'm doing that one new thing. That's what I'd call it. One new thing every month. And so it was very much like just allowing myself the expectation that I would feel a little fear kind of was soothing in its own way. It was like, this is not something new and strange that's happening. This is like expected. Of course, the fear is here. Of course, it's going to go away. So you may find that as well. You may find that if you're going to this new, I don't know, class like pottery studio, you're really nervous before because it's something you've never done and your brain is searching for comfort, right? Like it's searching for the familiar, and it's not going to find it because you're doing something new. You're having a new experience. But once you get through it, you might start to build that confidence muscle that like, this is how it goes. I always have the best time. I always meet someone amazing. I always learn a new skill. I now have a story I can tell forever. And it starts to make that experience worthwhile. And it starts to make you fear the next experience less because you'll have built that muscle of realizing that you can face your fears and survive over and over again. Okay, so that's another thing that happens. Something that surprised me and may surprise you as well is that I often found some kind of breakthrough. Like I often found that when I was on this sprint triathlon and I was running the, miles and like thinking about things and with my own thoughts, I would get the idea that I'd been trying to figure out. You know how like when you're in the shower or going on a walk and it's the act of not doing and not forcing where you get the idea finally? That would happen a lot in these instances. So you may find that you're afraid to go do this thing, but as you are in the process and the flow of doing the art class or the pottery class or the cooking class or the fitness type thing, that's when you're finally like your body kind of goes through that high of the fear and then it relaxes. And in the relaxation is where you find the nugget of your idea. So be open to that as well. Many times I found something I loved. So I found my way to nutrition and to health classes. I found my way to my businesses. And, sometimes I would also find my way to like the next chapter of my life. I'd realize that I wanted to start a podcast. I'd meet someone amazing. At the very least, I would have a fun afternoon or a new story to tell. And sometimes it was also even just a funny, embarrassing story. Like sometimes the story was not even a good story. I have written before about my Bikram yoga experience and how it was like when I lived in New York City and it was summertime and it was 90 degrees out, like probably 100% humidity. And that was the day I chose to do my one new thing of like a Bikram yoga class. And in the class, one of my worst fears, of course, is like drawing attention to myself, like making something stupid happen, interrupting the class, like God forbid. And all those things happened. Like I was so overheated. I started to see black, like little stars in your eyes, that happens right before you're about to pass out. And the whole class had to pause and they gave me a sugar packet and I had to like lay down while everyone was doing their downward dog. And so it actually was probably my worst fear that would happen in that class of like just embarrassing myself. But now I look back and I use that story and I have in so many different times and it showed me you can survive. Like you can be embarrassed. You can like make a fool of yourself. You can ask for help and you can still survive. So you always learn something from these lessons. So what I have learned from this experience is to feel inspired, you have to do things that can give you that rush of inspiration. You have to have new experiences or experience things in a new way. And so for you, it could be going to a place you've gone before, but sitting with yourself in a new awareness. Maybe it's a cafe that you love, but you've never sat and read alone before, or taken a laptop and started a chapter of your novel. Maybe you have never gone to a fitness class that you've always wanted to try because you've been intimidated. Maybe you have always wanted to start learning a skill like coding or graphic design, but you've never really like thought you're the person that can do it. Just the act of doing these things, taking these classes, going on these adventures, experiencing your hometown like a tourist is going to make you feel more creative and more inspired. And it might lead you to that next idea, that next insight, that next person that you had to meet, that next like business venture. You never know like what could be that missing puzzle piece that is only missing because you've never gone out of your norm to go and find it. So whenever I'm feeling unstuck, and if you are as well, and you're like, I'm not feeling inspired, I'm not feeling creative these days, I've lost my mojo, this is where I start, and where I would really encourage you to just try and see if it works for you and how it serves you. Of like, make your list, think of the things you want to try, and then go out and do one of those things. You can do it. You can realize, you can feel the fear and do it anyway. You can start to see patterns in your fear. You can start to feel it lessen. And you'll be rewarded with all the things that come from doing something different, whether that's like a fun afternoon, a funny story, a new experience, a chance encounter, all the things we've discussed, right? But I hope that resonates. And if it does, leave a comment or send me a note. I would love to hear what speaks to you, what you're going to try like this month. What's your thing? Think about that, and then let me know how it goes. Like, go do the thing. I know you will come away feeling just so recharged and proud of yourself and ramped up. And so future cast to like that version. Think of that version of yourself instead of holding back and being afraid. Think of how you'll feel on the other side. One of the things I always say is like what you'll be doing after that night. So after you've done the big scary new thing, you're going to be calling a girlfriend, taking a bath, going on a walk, talking to your husband. Like, think of that girl. Think of how proud she'll feel and how lit up and inspired. And I swear to you, this will start to just create new connections, new inspiration in your life. It's always what works for me. To get inspired, you have to have a new experience or experience something in a new way.